Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back. We're looking at the KBO picks for tomorrow starting at 5:30. So let's get started. I would appreciate if you hit the like on the video and subscribe if you have not already, if you enjoy the content. It's been pretty good recently with the KBO. Yesterday fell a little bit short, so besides yesterday, it's been good. And looking to bounce back from yesterday tonight, we have a couple of teams that I really like. We have not a ton of good options at pitching, but I'll kind of touch on the ones that I like. Starting with Dan Straily, he is the best pitcher on the slate, hands down, one of the best pitchers in the league. This year, 2.53 ERA. He has more strikeouts than innings pitched, which is rare in this league, and he's facing off against the worst offense in the KBO. There's nothing to not like with Dan Straily today. Maybe the price tag a little bit, but when you have your next highest option is Casey Kelly against the Bears, it's going to be pretty easy to just forget about that price tag on Straily and just go ahead and lock him in. And then for my SP2, I'm kind of looking at like maybe Despaigne. I could see you go taking a flyer on him at 8,100. He's up and down. The strikeouts are not as high as I thought they would be in this league. He did pitch a gem against this Kia Tigers team earlier in the year. I feel like you could definitely play him. He also does go very deep into the game, like 117 innings pitched. 117 pitches thrown, 102 pitches thrown, 109. So he goes pretty deep into the game. But just for some value savings, I like Park at 7,200 facing off against the Twins. He had a bad game the last time out, but this is only his fourth start, and he did pitch well before that with a good showing against the Twins and the Dinos. This only has fourth start, so hopefully he starts to get closer to 90 pitches or something like that tonight. If not, maybe that's why his price tag is a little bit cheaper. But I think he could definitely return value at 7,200. He's also been decent with the strikeouts. 14 innings, 11 strikeouts. Not terrible, and I feel like he should be favored to win the game tonight. So those are the two pitchers that I like a lot on Draftkings. And then starting with some of the stacks that I like the KT Wiz stack a lot today. They are just so fun to play and stack up. The Wiz are my favorite team to stack. They have a ton of good hitters with Rojas and Kang. Even Bay is a cheap outfielder who returns value more times than not, and he's been on a great tear. The second baseman's been on a great tear too, and they're cheap. So I love the KT Wiz today. And I like the Dinos. They have the highest total on the slate. The game has like an 11-run total right now. You're going to want some Dinos in there as well. So those are the two teams that I like the most. And then maybe you can mix in some Sanks and Lions just because they're facing off against an opener and then a bullpen game from the Kiwoom side. So you could definitely look at some of the Sanks and bats, but they are definitely third on my list. But I'm really probably just going to focus on the KT Wiz and the Dinos today. At first base, I like Baiko Kang at 5,400. He is very cheap compared to where he's been this year, just because he's in a little bit of a slump, 237 average the last 10 games, but there's no problem with that. I have no problem with paying 5,400 for a guy that also missed some time with an injury, but was a 6,000 plus player. He's only 20 years old, and he has a chance to be one of the best hitters in the KBO. So definitely like Kang at 5,400. At second base, I like the shortstop from the KT Wiz. He's very cheap. He's only 3,300. He's been on a very great tear. He's missed after coming back from an injury. He's been on an incredible tear. 355 average, 3 home runs the last 10 games. Price tag is still down on him at just 3,300. A lot to like with him. The matchup is fine. I'm not really scared of the Kia pitcher today. You could look at him if you want, but the KT Wiz also they crushed him when they faced him earlier this year. Only 35 Ks and 51 innings, giving up 4 home runs, and they absolutely lit him up when they faced them last time out. So I think that going with some of the KT Wiz bats, they're always fun to play. They have a ton of power, and they're facing off against a pitcher that has kind of struggled recently. He pitched well against the Eagles, but before that, a bad game against the Dinos, the Wiz, the Bears. So he's up and down, but recently he's been trending downwards. So I like these two hitters a lot, and then we'll go at third base with Sukmin Park, who's at $5,000. He's finally starting to produce. He got off to a very slow start, but he's been producing at a great clip. Multi-hits in 3 straight games. He has shown power during that stretch, up to 8 home runs. He's batting like .429 the last 10 games. On an absolute tear. I have no problem with playing him at third base. If you want to go up to Huang, I think that's fine too, but I like both Park and the KT third baseman today a lot. And then in the outfield, you have a cheap guy that I like, and that's Hee-Dong Kwon at just 3,200. He's only hitting .235 the last 10 games, but the power has been there. You know, you're just hoping that he can go yard. At 3,200 is pretty rare that you get a guy with the power that he has shown this year. He has 9 home runs and just 141 at-bats, which is pretty nice. He also hits for a decent average, and the matchup is great. They are very favored tonight, heavily favored. So, you know, it seems like a great stack to build around. So that's the DraftKings plays. I am just going to be stacking the KT Wiz and the Dinos tonight. And then on Fanduel, it's pretty similar, but I'll go ahead and just show you my core plays. Okay, on Fanduel, Dan Straily is $29, followed by the Kiwoom pitcher, which doesn't make sense because he's probably not going to pitch more than a couple innings. But then you have Sappold. You could look at like Despaigne is very cheap on Fanduel. He is only $22, so I feel like that's a pretty good bargain. Allows you to pay up for more expensive bats. So Despaigne, $22 looks great. And then starting off at the infield, I like Sukmin Park because it's $10 for how good of a hitter he's been. That's a bargain. I think in the outfield, I will go with Mel Rojas, who's been incredible recently, batting like .370 the last 10 games. He's batting .370 overall, I believe, just showing so much power. And then I'll probably go with his teammate, Baiko Kang. So going to be paying up for the big bats on Fanduel. Easy when you get a cheap pitcher like the KT. When you get the cheap pitcher in Despaigne at just $22. So that's it for the video. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And good luck tonight.